Some new information for you on the job market in this country, and it's pretty dismal. Listen to this. The U.S. economy so bad over the last 3 months, more Americans went on disability than found jobs. That's according to a new study released by Republicans on the Senate Budget Committee. Let's talk about it with Charlie Hurt, a columnist for the Washington Times. So, Charlie, just over the last 3 months, there have been more people going on disability than actually finding jobs in this country?
Yeah, I don't think this is what American voters had in mind when they voted for change in 2008. It's a very alarming statistic, and one that I think we'll hear a whole lot more about in the coming election. It feeds into this whole charge by Republicans and by Mitt Romney that President Obama and Democrats in Congress are more likely to get you on the government roll than get you into a good-paying job. And I think it's a strong statistic that Romney can use to argue that that we're certainly not going in the right direction right now.
We've got a graphic that shows exactly what the numbers are. 225,000 jobs created in this country over the last 3 monthly reporting periods, April through June. That's actually not even enough to keep up with population growth. In the meantime, 246,000 Americans have filed for disability benefits. Now, those are paid out of Social Security, as I understand it. That can't be good for a program that's already insolvent. Senator Jeff Sessions, well, it's heading toward insolvency, I should say. Senator Jeff Sessions says the SSDI, the disability benefits arm of Social Security, is going to be dry by 2016.
Well, John, I think that really is sort of the larger point here, beyond the political aspect of it, which is bad enough, I think, for President Obama, is the fact that it's a thumbnail of yet another large entitlement program that has been run by both Democrats and Republicans over the past couple of decades and is being run into the ground, and there are serious problems with it. It's hard to imagine that just suddenly in the last couple of months people are getting hurt on the job more often or becoming disabled at an alarming rate. That's kind of it's pretty impossible to imagine. It's far more likely that people are figuring out ways of using the system because the economy is so bad and because it is so hard to find work, that they're finding ways to sort of perhaps game the system or find loopholes through which they can get onto disability, and it's balloon. The cost of all of this, and along with the other entitlement programs, of course, is ballooning at a rate, as you point out, that within the next 5 years, we're going to start seeing absolute. I mean, those programs will be insolvent, and our general fund, the taxes that we raise for general fund purposes will actually be diverted to not only pay the debts that those have accrued, but to actually pay out actual benefit in order to make the benefit payments.
Nobody begrudges disability payments through Social Security to people who are truly disabled, but the historical average is that only 1% of the people who start on disability ever return to work. All of a sudden, we've got 250,000 of those folks going on disability in the last 3 months. It does raise a lot of questions. And if you go back to 2008, one quick last look at this chart, we have lost 1.3 million jobs net in this country since 2008, and the number of people on disability has increased by 3.6 million. It looks like an unsustainable kind of chart.
Yeah, exactly, John. And if you look at the federal government's record, as well as other government entities' record for dealing with disability, we see hundreds of stories every year about people who are on disability, firefighters who are on disability, workers who are on disability, who move out of their local wherever they're drawing disability from, move to Florida and wind up in a good-paying job, basically double dipping out of the system while collecting disability benefits. The governments don't have a very good record of enforcing this and making sure that it's not abused.
Charlie Hurt from the Washington Times, an eye-opening statistic there, Charlie. Thank you.
Indeed. Thanks, John.